Good day, everyone. I want to welcome you to today's lecture. I'll be your resource person for this lecture, which is PIO 212, Renal and Body Fluids. And my name is Mr. Ajayi Joseph. And these are the learning objectives for this course: to explore the intricate structures and the function of the kidney, to emphasize on the roles of glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, homeostatic regulation of the body fluid, and electrolytes. And what are the things you are expected to know in this lecture? To be able to describe the anatomical structure of the kidney and the functions, explaining the principles of glomerular filtration and clearance, analyzing the processes of tubular reabsorption and secretion, evaluating the significance of the renal blood flow, and understanding the body's fluid and electrolytes balance. Additionally, you'll be able to understand the mechanism behind pH regulation, countercurrent systems, and micturition, which is urination, as well as to identify and interpret abnormalities in renal function and fluid compartments. Well, as the course title says, renal and body fluid. Well, you need to know that the kidney plays a very significant role in the regulation of water balance. That is to say, in the regulation of water balance, the kidney has a lot of function to actually do. But before we dive into the role of the kidneys and different function of the kidney actually, we need to know the body fluid. The body fluid. Now, the total amount of the fluid in the human body is approximately 70% of the body weight. And it is divided into two compartments, the intracellular fluid and the extracellular fluid, whereby the intracellular fluid is taking most of the percentage of the body fluid, of the total body fluid of the body, taking 55%. While the extracellular fluid, which is outside of the cell, takes about 45% of the whole body fluid. Now, the compartment, as I said earlier, the extracellular fluid, which is taking about 40% or 45%. Now, it's divided into three, which we have the interstitial fluid. These are the fluid that are present between the cells, approximately 20% of the extracellular fluid. Then we have the plasma, which is present in the blood, approximately 12%. And we have the transcellular fluid, which contains the synovial fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid, and the lymph. Then we also have the intracellular fluid, which is taking about 60% of the total body water, which is found in the cytosol. And the cytosol is the part of the cell, which consists of mostly fluid. So that the intracellular fluid is taking about 60% of the total body fluid. Now, what are the composition of this body fluid? What are the composition? Number one is water. Water takes most of the composition of the body fluid. Then we have dissolved solutes, and they are divided into about two: the organic substance and inorganic substance. Organic substance, we have the proteins, we have glucose, amino acid, lipids, hormones, and enzymes. The inorganic substance, we have electrolytes, sodium, such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, phosphates. Now, the body fluid composition of tissues varies in the sense that people that actually that are fat, like the obese people that are fat, the fat content of their body is much. Meanwhile, that is the tissue type, lean tissues, they're having higher fluid parts of their tissues. So they have more they have less fluid. That is to say, lean people probably have more fluid in their body than those that are fat, due to the composition of fats being deposited in the obese people. And we have gender. Males have more lean tissue than female. And age-wise also, lean tissue is lost with age and body fluid also. Now, movement of body fluid. This body fluid are actually moved through the cell membrane, two different mechanisms. We have the membrane transport processes, different transport mechanisms, such as the passive transport and also the active transport. The passive transport does not make use of energy. This is the movement of substance across the membrane from higher to lower concentration. That is, this is going direct the concentration gradient. It's going in line with the concentration gradient. And we have examples like the simple diffusion, the facilitated diffusion and likewise osmosis. We all know what diffusion is: the movement of water molecules from the region of what higher concentration to lower concentration through until they are evenly distributed, while osmosis through a semi-permeable membrane. So these are ways in which this fluid are moved through what the cells. And we have the active transport, which has to do with the use of energy and carrier protein. Also, facilitated diffusion use carrier protein also. Active transport also what? Use carrier protein. But the difference between active transport and passive transport is the use of what? Of energy. Now, regulation of body fluid. How is it regulated? As I said earlier, the kidney has a significant role in the regulation of body fluid. Now, how is water regulated? Because water constitutes most of the part of the body fluid. It takes the highest percentage. Now, water intake, how is it regulated? Now, the volume of water gained each day, we take water, we gain water into our body through drinking, and likewise through the food that we eat, through moist food. Water is being taken out of the food, and also through metabolism. And how is it regulated? Now, taste mechanism is one of the ways in which water is being regulated. If you are thirsty, you tend to drink more water. You tend to drink more water, and definitely the nervous system, that is from the hypothalamus, regulates this. It serves as the control center. Then we have the water outputs, which is lost in terms of urine, feces, perspiration, even evaporation from the skin. Now, how is it regulated? How is water output regulated? Through what? Through the kidney, as I said earlier. Water is being excreted through the kidney, but sometimes it's being reabsorbed, because sometimes we need water in our body. So once there is signal for water to be reabsorbed, which is through some hormone, that is through the hypothalamus secreting their antidiuretic hormone, there is regulation of water into the body system back, because if the body system is in need of water, one of the ways in which it is taken back into the body is through reabsorption, and it occurs where? In the kidney. Now, we have disorders of water balance, like dehydration. Please, I want you to know that this lecture is just like an introduction to the whole course. It's just like an introduction, just for you to familiarize yourself with the course itself and the content. And please make sure that feel free to ask questions on places you don't understand. You can text on the comment section, make use of the comment section very well, and ask questions that you don't understand concerning this course. And I'll be here and available to help. Now, let's move on. Disorders of water balance. Now, we have dehydration, which is defined as the excessive loss of body fluid, or water loss, which exceed the water intake. Water loss and water intake. Once the water loss exceeds the water intake, is dehydration. And we all know what dehydration is. When you are thirsty, it means you are dehydrated. It means you are in need of water. Then we have hypotonic hydration. Hypotonic, it means now? There is decrease. There is more water, and there's more water than the solute, and all these need to be balanced. It needs to be an isotonic solution. So the water content and the solute content is supposed to be balanced. Now, hypotonic hydration is one of the disorders of water balance. Now, electrolytes. The kidney also have a significant role in the regulation of electrolytes, such as the sodium, potassium. Now, electrolytes are important for maintaining fluid balance, contributing to acid-base regulation, facilitating enzyme reaction, and the electrolyte is very important. The kidney actually have a significant role in regulation of electrolytes. Now, let's move to the kidney. The renal system or urinary system has maximum excretory capacity, and so it plays a major role in homeostasis, such as maintaining of body fluid balance and even acid-base balance and electrolyte. And how does it maintain acid-base balance? By the reabsorption of bicarbonate, excretion of hydrogen ion. The kidney produces urine also in forms of waste, that is, those things that are not needed in the body. The kidney filters them and excretes those things in form of urine. And the urinary bladder stores the urine until you feel like urinating. You feel like urinating. That's where the micturition complex and reflex comes in. We'll talk about that. Now, urine is voided from the bladder through the urethra. Well, now, what are the functions of the kidney? One is excretion of waste product. Most importantly, excretion of waste products. Maintenance of water balance, body fluid. Maintenance of electrolyte balance. Electrolytes are in our body, but now, if they are much and if they are too low, it is very dangerous. That's where we have imbalance of electrolytes. So they need to be balanced. Now, the kidney does that. Now, maintenance of acid-base balance, as I said earlier, by excretion of hydrogen ion. reabsorption of bicarbonate. You understand? Reabsorption of bicarbonate. Those two ways are the ways the kidney help to maintain acid-base balance. Now, endocrine function, renin, erythropoietin, which is one of the major hormones that helps in production of blood. Then we have what? Renin also. Renin is also one of the hormones that is being produced by the kidney. Now we have regulation of blood pressure. The kidney also helps to what? Maintain and regulate blood pressure through the renin-angiotensin system, and also the regulation of what? Of electrolytes in the body. Then we have gluconeogenesis, which is what? The production of glucose. So those are the function of what? Of the kidney, which you need to know. As I said earlier, this is just an introduction. Now we have the nephron, which is one of the functional and the structural unit of the kidney. So majorly every work that the kidney does, the nephron is the functional unit that helps the kidney to actually what? Do this function. And it is divided into different compartments, such as the glomerulus, the tubules, and what? The loop of Henle's, the proximal convoluted tubules, distal, and the collecting ducts. And we also have the afferent arterioles, that is the arteries that comes into what? The kidney. We have the Bowman capsule. The glomerulus is responsible for the filtration. Then urine formation. How is urine formed? As I said earlier, one of the functions of the kidney is to what? Excrete waste through urine. Now, how are this urine formed? Number one is glomerular filtration. Water and solutes smaller than protein are forced through what? The capillary walls and pores of the glomerular capsule into what? The renal tubule. So the glomerulus is responsible for filtering what? Those wastes. And these waste that are being filtered are the waste which can pass through the glomerulus. Now we have tubular reabsorption. Now those are the things that are still needed by the body, such as water. As I said, I told you earlier that what? Fluid, that is water, can be reabsorbed when needed. Glucose, amino acid, and also some ions. We have what? Sodium reabsorption also. Now we have tubular secretion, like hydrogen, potassium, creatinine, and drugs are removed from the peritubular what? Blood and secreted what? By the tubule cells into where? Into the filtrates. Now we are coming to the end of this lecture, but we still have a few things to look at, like micturition. Micturition is the process by which the urine is voided from where the urinary bladder, and it is a reflex process. As I said, micturition reflex is that reflex that makes you to be able to void what? This urine out of what? Out of the urethra. Out of the urethra. Now, what are those things, those compartments that involve in micturition? We have what? The urinary bladder, which is the first, and the sphincters, the internal and the external. We have nerve supplies. This is the micturition reflex I talked about. Then we have the disorders of the kidney. Disorders of the kidneys. As I said earlier, I'm just running you through the course. The course is still in there. We are still going to go in depth into each of these outlines. Now, kidney failure is one of the disorders that in the kidney failure. Now, renal failure refers to failure of the excretory function of the kidney. Then, in summary, the renal system, mainly made up of what? Of the kidney, is essential for regulating body fluid. It filters blood to eliminate waste. Additionally, the kidney helps regulate electrolyte balance. Body fluid encompasses both the intracellular and extracellular. Now, the relationship between kidney function and body fluid balance is very significant in our health, as imbalances can result in issues like dehydration, swelling, and electrolyte imbalance. Thank you so much for listening, for your attention, and we will meet in our next lecture. Thank you and goodbye.